This new Ford Expedition Tremor can tow that camper without a weight shifting hitch. That's according to Ford. Well, let's just see about that, shall we? Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. I just got back from towing without a hitch, and I got a few things to say about it. And you may want to pop top, pour a little something in your coffee, and take a bag of popcorn, because this is probably a really interesting video for you guys who think that I have nothing to say but positive, glowing things about vehicles review. Because I did not say that in this video. So what I want to do is I want to show you how much squat it has, how it does when it's towing. We'll talk about fuel economy a little bit. We'll do it without weight stripping hitch. We'll do it with weight stripping hitch. And let's talk about this new 2026 Ford Expedition Tremor and my thoughts about it and why I'm having an extra stiff drink tonight, boys. Yeah. Okay, first, let's have a talk about this. So this is the setup with no weight stripping hitch. You can see my bars are on the ground, right? Don't have it hooked up. I've attached it. You can see the sag. I got Zeal Handyman's Friend, the tape measure, right? And then I was really curious about this, and I sent some pictures in, and Ford engineer is going to get with me on this, but I have a hand, is what I looked at. So I thought, well, let's tape measure this. So I have probably 4 and 4.5 inches between the bottom of the wheel well, this wheel well here, and the tire. The camper itself is a 7,000 pound loaded up weight camper, wet weight. It's 5,200 pounds as far as dry weight. The payload in this Expedition is 1,300 pounds. It can tow 9,000 pounds. Now, they've said they've made changes to the frame, they stiffened that up, and the suspension, so you don't have to use weight stripping hitch. This seems pretty tight to me, and as you'll see a little bit in the video, as I go towing with it, I have some thoughts to say about this as far as towing. But let's unhook it and put weight stripping hitch on, and we'll see how this levels out the ride, see what we have. Now, I typically start with 4 links like I do in my Ram RHO, but let's see how this looks with it lined up when I take and drop the ball on there. Let's go ahead and check our measurement here on the tires, and let's see how this does. Now, because I'm just reviewing this and doing a short drive, I'm not going to go through all the measurements like doing the front measurement and stuff to get perfectly lined up. I just want to see how this looks when I get leveled out and see how the towing experience is. And yes, I know you can criticize me in the comments for not setting this up perfectly accurate the way they do on different YouTube videos. They tell you to do weight stripping hitch. But again, I'm just doing a small test to see how this does as far as towing. So looking at this, quite a bit of difference. If I was to measure from the tire here to the wheel, as far as the wheel well, I come down, I probably got 6.5 inches. So I gained about 2 inches here of additional room for the wheel travel for the wheel. It definitely looks better, and I imagine I'm gonna have a better towing experience. But let's go ahead and drop this ball down. So here's what it looks like when I have 4 links set up with the weight stripping hitch. Now I'm just doing a test to this with this to see how it looks. I'm not doing the full measurement to get it set up perfectly, because again, review vehicle I have for 7 days. But look at the difference here on the wheel. Okay, let's go towing, and before I start, I plugged in the camper. I'm gonna click on the screen. I'm gonna try to get the sun glare out of your eyes, or out of the screen, sorry. But I'm gonna hit add trailer. Let's see, we'll do our, let's say put camper, enter, continue setup. We have electronic brakes, hydraulic brake effort. We'll go medium. Length is from the ball to the camper's trailer. It's a 30-foot camper. Width is, I think, 8 feet. Trailer height, 10 feet. Weight is 5,200 feet. Let's say it's 5,300 pounds. Distance from the tow hitch to the front of the wheels of the trailer. It's like, come on, I just want to go. This is the frustrating part. Like, I just want to go. Tow. Start over. Yeah. I don't need all those measurements. I just go to towing. I just want to see how it does with towing. So that's all set up there. Done. Fine. And then I just want to talk about a few things before we get towing, because the point of this video is to see what the waste distributing hitch does with the camper and without the camper, because that's the point. This is something you'd set up more accurately when you do your own camper at home. But I want to point out a couple things that really grab my attention. First of all, I have my backup camera installed. This is a wireless camera from the back of the camera of the trailer. There's a camera back there and up here. It kind of blows my mind that I have the cord that's plugged in not up here where I have all the slots for stuff. This could easily have a power plug up here. Easy spot. My Ram truck's got a spot up here. Chevy trucks, GMC, Ford's got power plugs up here. No, I gotta go like this through this nice cabin across here. There's my cord hanging out in here down to there. And then when I want to slide this back, say the kids want some cup holders on a road trip, now I'm dragging this cord back and I'm pushing this cord forward. So it just kind of blows my mind, and there's not a good place, and you can't really tie it down either because you want to move this back and forth. So I have this really janky cable, and again, blows my mind that nobody at Ford thought about putting a plug here. Does nobody use radar detectors or backup cameras? Kind of blew my mind. So I just had to get that frustration on my plate. And then the other thing was that this backup camera is powered by the camper, and the camper powers it by sending power through the plug, but it only works when the lights are on. So I was like, okay, I'll turn the lights on. Turns out no light switch over there. Ford has copied GM, and so you got to reach over here and you click the button, and here you go. Here's your exterior lights. Your lighting setup. Now they have zone lighting, which I'm a big fan of zone lighting. If you haven't used this before, you just press a button that turns on lights around the zone, which is the side, back, rear, front. Use it from the app as well. I still think you use it from the app. I've been told to make some changes there, but anyways, back to the point here. I have to press exterior lights on from this button here to run my backup camera. There's a lot of controversy when GM did this, and it's interesting that Ford followed suit. So that's how you operate your lights here on the screen, and it's all the way over here, which is pretty freaking inconvenient for a driver. So if you're driving here and military base, places in California where you're in a spot that says please turn your headlights on, you're driving 70 miles an hour, you're whoop, over here, turn them on. At least GM put them up over here so you could easily get to them. So I'm surprised that Ford followed suit with all the issues that GM had with that. So again, real world things I just learned, 2 things. And you can tell I'm a little miffed about those 2 things because it definitely grabbed my attention. So there's some feedback from Ford. And then I can hold gears here, which is for shifting, which I don't like. So if I'm towing down a grade and I want to hold my gears, here, switch hands there. And I'm very curious how the steering wheel, the square circle does when towing. So I'm going down, I'm keeping eyes on the thing, and I gotta reach over to do the gears. I don't know. I'm not sold on that for towing. We'll find out. Okay, I'm at the base of this grade and I just got the sun on my face, so I can talk to you on camera. Let's do a few factors here. I'm doing 70 miles an hour. It's 61 degrees out. It's October day, just before Halloween. I don't know if that matters. I got probably about 2-3 miles an hour of wind today, which is really not that bad. And I am moving around the place. My back end is just floating. I actually just slowed down to 60 for some reason. We have a couple turns in here because it's wiggly. It is fluid back there, and a little bit of experience here. This is my 15th year of auto journalism doing this job. I've got probably around 7,000 miles, probably 6,000 miles of driving with this camper with different types of vehicles, and I can tell you this is a very questionable towing experience. I can't wait to get back to the house slap on the weight distributing bars and see what happens, because it's slippery. Yeah. Now slowing down, sure, but I'm moving, and this isn't wind. We get 30-mile-an-hour gusts out here all the time. 20 to 30 blowing in the winter is pretty consistent. I've seen gusts blow to 50, and oh, hold on. Sorry, it just wanted me to go that way, and I don't want to go into the trees. Not a fan. So interesting. So Ford has said they've reinforced the rear end, and I'm going to meet with engineering and talk about this, because I don't know. Jesus Christ, son of a bitch. Okay, yeah. You know what? I'm going to get down the bottom of this hill. I'm going to turn around. I'm not going to do any more. This, no bueno. So I got the top of Wildcat Hills, and I'm going to slow down some more, because that got me a little nervous there. And crashing my new camper I'm going to take on Saturday to Vegas, another 1,000-mile drive on the way out there, is not on my agenda today. But it just wanted me to go sideways there too. Yeah, alright. I'm going to go down the hill here. I got trailer brakes on. I don't have it. There we go. There's my trailer brake controller. I'm setting it. No, I want more. It's set at 3.5. I'm gonna add it up to 5 because I'm going down the hill here. What's my gauges? So I'm running halfway with the what I assume is transmission temperature. Is that engine temperature? I can't go through the gauges, and I can't look at the symbols and see what's going on. Luckily nobody's behind me, but I'm slowing down here to 50. Okay, we're switching lanes. I mean, the mirrors are okay. Would like to have trailer mirrors on this one, just because the shape of the mirror isn't as wide as I like it to be. Okay, so this should be the advantage of weight shifting, excuse me, without the weight shifting hitch. I should be able to turn better as long as I can figure it out this damn steering wheel. I don't know about these squirrel steering wheels. Oh, let's let that guy go by. Okay, you know what I can do right now though is I can gather myself here. But that is the temperature gauges. That is Wildcat Hills right over there. So that's going up and down. You see that car going down. We're going up that and down that. And here's the deal. Everything looks flatter on camera. I can tell you that it's steeper than what you think. But the way cameras work, it's like everything looks flatter. So I'm gonna take a look, and it looks like we're clear. But I'm gonna get in this outside lane just in case somebody comes around the corner. Okay. But yeah, it wanted to push me on that hill, and that's not okay. Okay, so let's get up the hill. So maybe I can film a little bit on this going up too. Okay, so that's 40. That's 50. That's 60. It feels so slippery back there. And I know a lot of this is personal preference. But it just feels slippery. Sorry, I almost cussed there. That's 70. And I'm just trying to give you guys an idea about how steep this Wildcat Hills can be. Yes, flat Nebraska, I get it, but this is a steeper portion of it. And you get to the top of this grade, and then you'll turn. Okay. Go away, camera. I gotta have two wheels. I gotta have two hands on the wheel. So camera's gotta go away. I gotta slow down. This cornering, it just wants me to go this way. And lane departure is throwing a fit. It's vibrating at me. I thought it turned off lane centering, left lane departure on. I figure out what button it is. I can turn that off too. Because yeah, I need you to vibrate me while I'm going around a corner. Thank you for that. All right. Okay, so that one's not so bad. The scary one is going to be the one going down. Again, I'm floating like a butterfly, sting like a bee. So when you go down Wildcat Hills, this is the scarier one, because come on, camera. Here's what's happening. When you go down this hill, you see that rock wall right there? Yeah, you don't go straight. You make a right-hand turn when you go down. It's almost 60 degrees, maybe 70 degrees. So, and you're carrying speed. And so I have physics, right? Of the camper pushing me, I have the truck sitting like this because I'm pushing down on the tongue weight. I have some squat in the back end because I'm not level, and I'm making a big sweeping turn, maybe more like 70 degrees. Maybe with the weight stripping hitch on, I can show you this better, but I'm pushing on those brakes. I may actually add a little trailer brake here. Yeah, I'm adding some trailer brake. That's where my other hand, I put my hand down, adding trailer brake. I'm not even messing with the gear because, like, maybe I should. But at this point, I'm just trying to make sure I scrub some speed off. So I'm using the trailer brake gain. Okay, so trailer brakes are running well, and I got a truck on my side. Okay, let's downshift the gear. Downshift. Yeah, that's ridiculous. I pushed the downshift button and it showed me all the gears. Stupid. Like, downshift, if I press the downshift button, then freaking downshift. Don't show me 10. Just downshift. Just do it. It's like, yeah, so when I pressed the gear down button, it just said, hey, you're in 10th gear. No. If I press the downshift button, you immediately downshift from 10 to 9. You don't show me where I'm at on the screen. You just do it. This is not like the Sunday drive situation. This is, I need an immediate reaction to my gear press. Okay, back to the house. Putting the bars on. Let's try it with that. Let's see if I feel any different about the towing experience. So far, that's a big freaking... If you do end up purchasing one of these Ford Expeditions, I highly recommend getting a screen protector for this and also for that. My friends at Screen Protect, they make these. They're nice screen protectors. They go right on as a cover. What's great about them is they keep off the fingerprints and other smudges. Nice protective film on this. They make it a little tacky as well. That way your finger doesn't slide so much on these screens. I find it really nice for the vehicles I own. I like it on road trips, so when I take my hand off the wheel and I go to click on something, it's not, my finger doesn't tend to slide that much. I just find them very useful. I'll put a discount code below in the description and a link to the website. Make sure you check them out. I'm a big fan of those screen protectors. I've been looking for them for years as these screens gotten bigger. I just wanted something on the screen so it wasn't so slick and keep the fingerprints off when I'm using it. I really like their products. Find more in the description below this video. Okay, let's try this again. So, weight stripping hitch connected. Hitch pin in. I got that done. Sense of urgency a little bit high. I leave Saturday for 7 days up the SEMA show. I'm out to Vegas. They picked this up tomorrow morning, so time's not my friend at the moment, unfortunately. Headlights on. Reach over, press the button. Yes, I got that down. I figured that piece out. Trailer connected. Right. Tow haul mode. Oh, I gotta turn on tow haul mode? I shouldn't have to. Yeah. Tow haul mode engaged. I don't know why it didn't pop up this time. Let me double check my connections. Be right back. Okay, that connected. Okay, towing status is on. Alright, fine. And I learned, I went back, double checked the manual. I've read the manual about 2 or 3 times now. Unfortunately, Ford manuals are online or they're digital, which I find very frustrating for me. I went back, looked at the PDF, selected a search button. So there's 2 things I can show you guys real fast, or as fast as I possibly can, if you can see them. Right above there, that is the engine temperature. So I was looking at transmission temperature, but I have a dummy gauge. I don't actually have a actual temperature number. So when I press the gauge button, I get transmission temperature, whatever that's worth. I can't really tell what's going on. So all I gotta know is whether it's hot or cold. And then the gear selectors, now I can get out of that button. So towing status, I had fuel economy at 16 with that short drive. So I know what that is now. And I know there's trailer sway control. The other question somebody asked, and Facebook, I was talking to some friends about this, is that when you have that non-waste stripping hitch and your rear end is up like this, there are not self-leveling headlights. So you have to level them yourself, which is not so great if you're not gonna have waste stripping hitch, and you're gonna set up the system, you're gonna set up your ride like this, because now your headlights are pointing upwards. So it seems like if you're gonna have non-waste stripping hitch, and you're gonna have this situation where the rear trailer is like this. Okay, waved at me, couldn't do it in this thing. You're gonna have a situation where the trailer's like this, or the vehicle's like this. You want automatic headlight adjustment to bring those headlights down. You don't. Okay, so now it's 4:45 in the metropolis of western Nebraska. We have rush hour. See how long this takes to get going. Around the corner. And I don't have cruise control on. This segment through here, especially when a new vehicle like this, I'm trying to feel it out, I don't use cruise control. I don't like that a little bit. Not as bad though. Okay, that's a better corner. Still moves a little bit too much for me. My taste. Still kicking a little bit, but I can tell that waste stripping hitch is fighting it a little more than I did earlier. I got a couple of hay trucks here that they got their flashes on. They're struggling to go up the hill. This is not a easy climb through here. It's not the Rocky Mountains for crying out loud, Tim, but it's not like it's a Sunday drive. So getting around the corner here. Yeah, I mean, it wants to be a little loose right through there, but the waste stripping hitch is holding me in. It's almost like it's a seatbelt, if that makes sense to explain it that way. Switching lanes and doing 70 top of the hill. So you can tell in my voice, I'm much more relaxed. And we're getting around the corner. I'm not being pushed into walls. I'm not having a situation where I'm feeling like, oh my God, you know, much more calm. Going around the corner here. I'm not gonna switch gears because I shared my thoughts on the gear shift already. I'm gonna add some brake, a little brake through here. Okay, and then we're gonna go down into the valley. Yeah, that's okay. Much better driving experience. So I can't for the life of me understand the thought process of advertising no waste stripping hitch when you have that much squat. Like, I could see it if you had the stiffer suspension plus air suspension, self-leveling headlights. If you had something else going on there, I could see that being advertised. But I just don't understand that aspect of it. You know, you're already going to have an industry that's set up for waste stripping hitches. When I bought my camper, they wouldn't let me leave the dealership, for the camping dealership, without having a waste stripping hitch set up. So you're going to have people that are going to do it regardless because they have to, because the way the industry is set up for that. But the squat, like, how are you gonna get around the squat? Like, if you gave every expedition air suspension and the stiffer rear end, I could see it. But you know, because air suspension would raise you up, and you could probably mimic a waste stripping hitch if you could have air suspension and stiffer rear suspension. You could maybe mimic all the advantages of that, although the wind would probably still be a problem. But I just don't see it. What do you guys think? Curious, get your thoughts, put them down below. Was I freaking out too much, or are you sharing the same thoughts I was? Because I am still mystified by that. Kind of crazy. Seats comfortable, visibility is pretty good. Fuel economy, if I can, settings, no, home again, no, it's that one, it's fuel economy. Fuel economy says 14.6, so I've been towing, I don't know, back and forth a couple different times, so I would say probably in the teens, if depending on your driving. Like, I've done this hill a couple times, a little unfair, right? For fuel economy with the camper doing the hill time and time again. I'd probably say somewhere in the teens if you're driving long distance with just not so many hills. Overall driving experience, it's good. Again, good visibility and things. The steering wheel takes a little bit to get used to. There's a lot going on for newness inside the cabin that takes a lot to get used to. I'm really surprised by the headlight switch. I thought GM took so much grief over that. I'm surprised Ford decided to follow suit, because that's kind of crazy. And I'm really not convinced by the steering wheel setup. Like, I don't see the advantages. You know, less buttons, fine, but how many times do you adjust your steering wheel and your pedals if you have the seat setting button? Do you have not? There's no seat setting buttons anymore? Like, so there's no seat setting buttons anymore. Okay, so every time you have to get in, you have to change the settings for that. You don't have like a seat set button. Like, the wife and I use seat set buttons all the time. I don't see them. That's kind of weird. So I'm just a little confused about the execution. Okay, here's what I'm talking about. So this is the steering wheel. It's a square with a circle. It's called a squircle. It's a new type of steering wheel. Allows you to see over the top better. It's the design of it, and still have the circle kind of shape. But it's got these buttons, and you can see it better on this owner's manual than you can in person. But the buttons are basically blank. That's all you see is a little icon in the corner. And then you tap on it, and here's all these 9 possible locations pop up. I actually didn't even realize you can change the volume on the radio. I ended up just reaching over and doing the volume knob the whole time, because I completely forgot you could do a volume on there because it goes blank. Technology. What's interesting, I think it's hilarious that they have the driving distracted thing in the owner's manual right here, because I find this to be completely distracting. I keep looking down on it to see where the buttons are. So yeah, that's hilarious. But here's the deal. To adjust the steering wheel, as far as the placement of the power adjustable steering column, you use the buttons. And to adjust the pedals, you use the buttons on the steering wheel. So there is no actual physical button or knob. It's on the steering wheel. You press this button, which coordinates to the up here. Actually, it's on this side. It'll be on the right-hand side. And then you push in, out, back and forth. You have to look up on the screen, which is above on the dash, to see where these buttons line up to those buttons on there, to see what you're going up, down, back and forth. This over here sets the cruise control, and you got to press the button here, then look up at the screen to see it all match up. So yeah, that's how it works out. And then you have to go to it's a page. If I can do the pages, 463. I don't know if I can do. We'll see. Oh, here it is, 463. So that I just talked to the PR guy for this, and you do a personal profile. So there is no set button anymore for the seat settings. You go and set a personal profile up on the infotainment screen, and that has your memory mirrors, driver's seat, steering column, adjustable pedals. And so you save that, and when you get in, you can do the memory function from there to recall all of your profile settings. Yeah, so that's how you do that. You link or unlink personal profile to remote control. So it's your key fob label. So you can actually attach it to your key fob. So every time if you get in with a certain key fob, it knows it's you, and then you would get into the vehicle and it would move the seats around for you. So it can be fairly handy, I would imagine, once you get it all set up, but you can't just get it set up and press a button like you've been doing for years on the side of the door. No digital rearview mirror. If you've not seen these, 3-row SUVs have digital rearview mirrors. Because if you put kids and family in here, and soccer balls and balloons and whatever stuff, the mirror is useless. So you gotta have a digital rearview mirror, because that way you can sit behind. It goes on the rear of the vehicle. You can see behind you when you have people in the cabin. And this vehicle is meant to have people in the cabin. And the last thing I talked about in the first drive event I did with this thing was, why is there only one powertrain choice? You have the Power Boost, which gives you the hybrid. Nobody cares about the hybrid because there's no better fuel economy, but they do care about the fact that there's more power on board, so you have more power on board options in the rear. If this is supposed to be a tailgating vehicle where you can open the hatches and be able to plug in more crock pots and blenders and things, then you need more power to power that stuff. So why won't you do the bigger inverter that comes with the Power Boost? Because I don't know about you, but more margaritas for everybody sounds like a good idea to me. I may have to have a couple of those. It's crazy. So a lot of stuff I like. Tow experience, but not ways to be hitched. Not a big fan. And that's stuff that just. All right, that's what I got for you. I'm exhausted. Yeah, this job isn't physical. I'm not out breaking rocks all day long, but man, sure as hell wears my brain down. I'm done. Other videos up over here. Website down below as well. pickuptrucktalk.com. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.